Alright, we're here in the kitchen for our weigh-in today because my wife's in the other room and we're going to be doing meal prep today. That's the tip for today. So here's the weigh-in. $175.2. And we'll get to the tip of the day.
Alright, so the first step in meal prepping is defrost your protein. Sounds stupid, but if you don't do it, it will set you back 2 to 3 hours because that's how long it takes to defrost. This is about 85% defrosted, these chicken breasts right here. And what I'm going to do is cut them in half. You see that's a pretty thick chicken breast, and you just fillet them right down the center. And this does one main thing, it makes them a lot easier to cook. That takes 20 minutes. When you fillet them like that, it only takes about 10 minutes. So a lot simpler, and you don't burn your chicken as quickly. So that's actually two benefits. And after that, I like to chop them in half, make them a little smaller. They're more manageable on the grill. So here is my marinade. You can pick these up at the grocery store for 2 for $1. Here's the nutritional facts, and they have 0 grams of fat and less than 1 gram of sugar. So that works for my diet. I'm happy with it. You just pour it into a mixing bowl and then mix in your oil. I use neutral oil. It sounds healthier. It's probably about the same. A little dab of water, a couple dabs of vinegar. Stir that guy up, and then you can start dumping in your chicken breasts. Again, when they're cut in half and smaller, they're easier to throw on the marinade. And then you just let that guy sit for about at least 30 minutes, but I like to do 2 hours. Next thing, preheat the oven. If you don't preheat the oven, again, it's just going to set you back. We want to set our oven to 425, and we're going to start prepping our red potatoes. So I got about 12 red potatoes there. That will last me about 2 days. Then we're chopping up onions. I like to add that to the potatoes, makes them taste a lot better. I'm also going to chop up some garlic. Once you chop it, set it off to the side so you can focus on the next thing that you're chopping. Put those potatoes in small little chunks. Again, it makes them cook a lot better and a lot easier, and it also is a lot easier to eat when you're getting ready to shove the food down your throat the next day. So once you got them all chopped, you can see I got the garlic there off to the bottom. I'm going to be chopping that up and we'll mix it. You'll notice that I am real hands-on with my cooking. I like to get my hands in there, get nice and dirty. I'm the only one eating it, so it's all good, and I wash my hands before. So it's easier. Don't be afraid to touch your food. You know, it's your food. Do what you want. So then you just mix everything together, and I like to spritz a little bit of olive oil on it, and then some garlic salt. Makes it taste really good. And then you get your hands in there, mix it all up together, and you're ready to pop that guy into the oven. We're going to roast these for about 45 minutes. So this is actually the order in which I do everything. I defrost the chicken, I marinate it, I put the potatoes in the oven. They're going to take 45 minutes. Now on to the broccoli. So you want to get your pot, put your little strainer in there, get the water just up to the strainer. I got a little bit too much in there, so I dumped it out. You don't want your broccoli sitting in the water because then it's going to get all mushy. We don't want mushy broccoli. We want it steamed, a little crispy, and that's how I like it. So you'll notice my broccoli's overflowing out of the pot. That's okay. You just shove that top on it and push it down. Set it on the stove top, and you'll see I got about 23 minutes left to my cook for the potatoes. And we're going to put this on high, let that get to a boil. Come back to it probably about 7 to 8 minutes. Turn the heat down a little bit. And as it starts cooking, the top will actually sit down on there a little bit nicer because everything's going to start steaming. But you can give it a nice extra push just for good measure. And that brings us to the chicken. There it is. So now we're barbecuing the chicken. You can see I cut those guys in half, and they're a lot easier to fit on the grill. Now if you have a cheap piece of crap grill like I do, you're going to want to move that chicken all over like checkers on a chessboard because your grill is going to have hot spots that get hotter than others, and you don't want to burn the chicken. So Move it around. Make sure you're not burning anything. Not halfway through, but as you're getting done, you can actually look inside the chicken, cut one open, just to make sure that it's nice and white and there's no pink showing. If there's pink showing, you need to cook it longer. So now, chicken's done. Roasted potatoes are 50 seconds away. The broccoli, you can see that the top has seated down on there because everything's steamed. So those guys are done. We can turn them off. And now look at that beautiful chicken. Woo! So I got our meal prep stuff all ready. We got the Tupperware out. And here comes the taters. Yeah, I love those guys. Now when you do your meal prepping and you weigh everything out, you're going to have a couple of leftovers. So keep those leftovers in an extra container and you can use those for breakfast the next morning. You put those potatoes in there, some of the broccoli, you got a nice little omelet. This is what I like to do with my chicken. I chop everything. Makes it a lot easier when you throw it on the scale and weigh it out to portion it. And it's also a lot easier when you pop it in the microwave the next day to heat it up. It's a lot easier to eat too. You don't have to get a knife and a fork out. You just pop your pre-portioned meal into the oven, into the microwave, a minute 30 seconds, and you're all ready to go. And you only need a fork. No knife needed. So that's the main thing. You need that freaking scale. That scale costs less than $10 at Target. We're doing 6 ounces of chicken in each section. 6 to 6.5 ounces. You'll remember from my diet plan, we're doing 6 to 7 ounces of protein per meal. Now we're doing the red potatoes. We're doing about 5.5 ounces of those. We're going to get those all portioned out. And then we'll get on to the broccoli. Remember, the cardio cycle is in addition to your meal prep. So, not cardio, the carb cycle is in addition to the meal prep. So, you're going to eat additional carbs, but this is the base of the diet. With the broccoli, we're doing 3 to 3.5 ounces of broccoli. And you'll see there's my leftover taters. Getting those ready for possibly breakfast the next day. Same thing with the broccoli, getting those in an extra container. And there it is, all portioned out, ready to be eaten and consumed. There's the leftovers ready for breakfast. We're going to throw some tops on these guys. And then we'll throw them in the refrigerator. Stack them up. And, I already had a couple extra meals in there. All right, so I'm set for a couple, probably 2 days with all that goods. And you'll see, look at my eggs. I have 60 eggs right underneath. Go down. 60 eggs right there. That's going to last me, I do 6 eggs a day. So that's going to last me a good amount of time. And then move up, go up. There's my water. That's a gallon of water.